Well, thank you so much for being here today as we give what I'll just call an update on our 50-mile activity loop that we've been talking about in the city of Albuquerque, really since we rolled out what we called ABQ the Plan a number of years ago. This was one of the key features, and we are to the point now where we felt like we just bring the community up to speed on where we are, how much we're going to be able to accomplish during this administration, and then some of the signage that you're going to start seeing popping up around the city of Albuquerque. I'm going to speak a little bit about the project itself. I'll have Melissa Lozoya, who's our acting director of DMD, speak a little bit. But I've also got a number of people with us today. I want to specifically thank our biking community that took time out of their busy day to come out today and do what they do best. They advocate, they ride, that's what they do best. But then the second best thing they do is they make sure that their elected officials understand that they have a passion for this, and that the trail systems that we have in the city of Albuquerque really matter. So we've got the New Mexico Touring Society with us today. Let's give them a round of applause. We've got Bike ABQ with us today. Thank you for showing up. And there's, I think, someone from GAYBAC here. The advisory committee might be here today, so let's give them a round of applause as well. So Albuquerque has 620 miles of bike trails, pathways, and places you can ride specifically for bikes in our city. That sets us apart from many American cities in a very, very good way. About half of those, a little over half of those, are on the streets of the city of Albuquerque, and about 45 to 50% of those are on the trail systems in the open spaces. So when we talk about open space, we talk about cycling, we talk about commuting, we talk about tourism. People come to Albuquerque with their bikes just to ride and see our great city. It really adds a lot of value, and then you'll see Albuquerque many times on the list of healthiest cities. And one of the reasons you see that is because we have opportunities for people to get out, ride their bikes, and be well. So we call this an activity loop, and the reason we call it an activity loop is because it's not just for biking. You will see people on the activity loop that are in strollers. You'll see people simply walking. You'll see people cycling. You'll see people jogging. And this map behind me represents the original layout that we had put together when we first referenced this 50-mile loop. And we had a couple of goals with the loop. Number one is we wanted to give people an opportunity to see our great city. So if you wanted to come to Albuquerque and spend a couple of days on a bike, you could see mountains, you could see the Rio Grande, you could see agrarian areas, you could see our urban core, you could see historic Route 66, you could see some of the great neighborhoods in Albuquerque. You could ride your bike and stay at a world-class resort. You could ride your bike and then stay at a bed and breakfast. You could stay at a historic Route 66 hotel and really make a great visit out of it. That's going to take some additional branding, and we're starting on that right now. So we're going to put a package together. It may not be done by the time I'm your mayor, but there will be an opportunity where someone can go on a website, maybe at the Visit ABQ website, and just look at the loop and see all the great things that they could do, so they could plan a 3 or 4 day trip here, make it easy for them to do that. But the first thing we had to do is definitize the loop. We wanted to make sure that we used as much existing bikeway as possible. So out of the 50-mile loop, a real good chunk of that is on existing pathways. So we have done some rehab of some pathways. We put in the new Hawk signal that helps people. We can show you the Hawk signal if you'd like to see that. That's kind of a wave of the future, I think. But we also needed to make sure that we marked it and we branded it, and that's what we're talking about today. So you're going to see these signs. You're going to see almost, I think it's 300. Let me get the number here. Somebody give me the number. I lost it.
400, over 400.
Yeah, there's over 439 of these wayfinding signs you're going to see now on this trail system. Sandbar, a local contractor, is with us today. They're going to be putting these signs up. They actually already are. And so when you start seeing these signs up, we just call it 5.0 on the mile signs, and you'll see this sign here. And so when you see that Q sign, with urban landscape and the mountains behind it, and you see an arrow, you know you're on the 50-mile loop, so that people can navigate through that. We're also going to put up mile marker signs, so that if you want to have a road run, or if you're out training, or if you want to make sure you get your 3, 4, 5, 6 miles in today, you can start at 1 mile marker and know how far that you've gone. We will, by the time we're out of office, have about 48 points, well, not about, By the time we're out of office, we'll have 48.7 miles of the 50-mile loop that has been definitized, that has been landmarked, that has been put together. The only piece we're going to be missing by the time I leave office in the next couple of months is a little piece out here by Sandia. And by it's the North Diversion Channel piece, and it's going to take a little piece of construction. So we're going to make sure that we get that planned, and so that we can hand that to our next mayor, and they can, be the person that connects that last little bit of the 50-mile loop. But I want to thank a lot of people for where we've gotten today. First of all, the taxpayers of Albuquerque. This isn't. There's no fee increases, no tax increases to do this. This is being done with federal grants, with existing City of Albuquerque revenues, and with GEO bond funding that the taxpayers of Albuquerque have voted for over the years to make sure that we have a great trail system. I also want to thank Bernalillo County, New Mexico Department of Transportation, the Council of Governments, MAFCA, and then the Conservancy District. All of these government agencies, you'd be surprised when you start putting together a loop like this, how many partners there are. And it only takes one to say no, and you have a problem. But we haven't had that. We've had everybody come to the table and celebrate our place and help us put this loop together. So thanks to all those leaders. But it also takes great staff. It takes people that are dedicated. We've had Linda Rumpf is here with us. She's our ABQ, the plan coordinator. She informed me this morning we've had over 100 meetings in the community for ABQ, the plan, different parts, different pieces of the plan. So this is a community-built project, and we've changed it a number of times. We made sure that we got down into the South Valley because they wanted that there. We made sure that we changed to some of the far west side because some of the folks out there wanted to get out a little bit closer to the petroglyphs. And so we've listened to our community and we've built it around their needs, always tying in the great things that we have to offer in Albuquerque. But Melissa Lozoya, who's our acting director of DMD, Keith Reed, her deputy director, Dave Harrison, who's our construction division manager, Brian Wolf, our streets division manager, have been instrumental in this. Suzanne Lubar is our director of planning. She and her team, Brendan Williams, the associate director, Russell Brito, Linda Rumpf is our project coordinator for the 50-mile loop. And of course, you have to design it. Great local company, Wilson and Company. Savina Garcia is here with her team. And then from Sandbar Construction, Kyle Moritomo is the contractor who made the signs for this. So it's just another day to do something good in our city. And so start looking for these signs. You'll know you're on the loop if you see them. Follow them, you'll stay on the loop. And then let's start doing some social media stuff and some media things. Let's see who can be the first person to ride the 50 miles, and we'll get groups together to do it. We'll figure out a way to navigate that last little 2-mile loop that we need to put together. We'll figure it out somehow. But just want to thank everybody for their efforts and their advocacy. And let's get out there, and as the weather's getting nicer, put on the helmet, get out there with the kids, start being active, and join these great folks in the city of Albuquerque, get on a bike, and let's make sure we stay one of the great biking communities in the country. With that, I'll let Melissa Lozoya give you some of the contract details, and then we will take any questions if you have them, or make folks available for one-on-one interviews. To this point, we'll have spent about $3.2 million getting to this place on the loop. There's another plan for amenities, water fountains, shelters, food stops along the way. So we're going to try to tee that up and get that ready to go, so that if the next administration wants to do some of those things, they absolutely can put those together and the plans in place, and they can put together the resources and build those. So we'll have Melissa say a few words and we'll go from there. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to everyone who's come out here today. This is an exciting project that we're kicking off. DMD is proud to work on projects such as this, and with this one we work closely with planning to implement the actual signs themselves. It's going to be through our construction services division. Dave Harrison, who and his staff are going to be the ones out here putting the signs that the mayor talked about today. I also want to just say thank you to the DMD team that's involved, as well as the plannings team. Thank you very much. And it's with the mayor's vision that we are continuously enhancing our bike and pedestrian facilities. There is a section within DMD that is dedicated to working with the bicycle groups and advocates to improve our facilities that we already have, and like the mayor said, to add new amenities to make it even better. So I just want to say thank you to those groups. I want to say it is with them that we can make our facilities better for all of our citizens to enjoy. The 50-mile loop, we've done a lot of work. One of the main features that everyone may have been able to see see or visit is our hawk signal at Lomas and Alvarado. It is the first hawk signal in Albuquerque, thanks to Mayor Barry's vision that we've implemented that. We've received a lot of good feedback. There is the potential to have other signals, hawk signals within the city, and some of those you'll see on the art corridor. We're also looking at implementing green paint and things like that, which you can see on MLK. The next pieces of this facility or this project will be Eagle Ranch and Coors. That's part of it, and like the mayor said, the portion up north near the Pueblo. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for being out here today. We welcome your feedback and enjoy this facility. Thank you.
So that's it. We can answer questions. Oh, do we have? Oh, I thought we had. Oh, this is the first. Okay, I was pointing to these signs. Don't put the mayor in charge of any of that. When they asked me, it's kind of a funny story. They came and said, "What would you like the signs to look like?" And I said, "I don't know, maybe a loop." And so we ended up with a sign that looks like a loop, so I'm happy with that. I think it's a beautiful sign. It matches our color scheme. Our buses kind of have taken on that color scheme as well now, so I think it looks really nice. I want to thank the graphic designer. So yeah, I guess we'll go pull the sign off here, and we'll let you readjust if you want to do that. And
just a couple of quick ones.
Sure.
If that's okay.
Sure.
How important is this loop for tourism in your eyes?
Well, really, okay, so we already have a community that is we already have a community that is passionate about biking. That's the great news. So job number one is make sure there's things for our community and their families. But I think the tourism component is enormous here. This is a great place. We all live here. We know this. We take for granted the weather that we have. But we're a high desert. We're a mile high. We have one of the best weather climates in the country. When people want to travel from where it's too hot to get out and enjoy the weather to too cold, they're going to come to places like Albuquerque. If we can brand this loop in a way that allows anybody in the United States that's thinking about doing a bike tour to come out, and we can just set a 2, 3, 4, 5 day package together, start working with the hoteliers, where you can go online and just click your button and you've got a great vacation set up in Albuquerque, and you can ride this trail and see all these great things from urban to rural to downtown to historic 66. It's going to sell. And those folks come in and that's new money into our economy. And then they go back and tell their friends. And while they're here, they're going to get some great food. They're going to meet some great and diverse people. And they're going to build up the reputation of Albuquerque around the country. It's an upward spiral, so it's worth doing.
Is it important to make this a biking community?
I would say that we are one of the best biking communities in the country right now. I know, literally, after 7 years, I know hundreds of mayors around the country. I don't know very many cities that have a biking community as robust as Albuquerque. So let's honor that. That's one of the special things that we have. And if you look at our biking community, you're going to see little kids on bikes. You're going to see old guys like me on bikes. You're going to see seniors on bikes. You're going to see people on tandem bikes. You're going to see people mountain biking, road biking. You can downhill biking. I mean, there's all of these things. The BMX track out here is one of the best in the country as well. So yeah, it's a good thing to be known for.